I told you that God had already grown me spiritually. So spiritually, God had graced me to encounter a grief that was out of this world, unexpected. God gave me the grace for it. And so you know what I do? When you see me smiling, I'm walking in grace. I was driving the other day and I cried while I was praying to God. I hadn't cried in a long time. And when I cried, it was so unfamiliar to me at that point. I said, God, thank you for drying up the ducts of my tears. Why? Because it's not even been a full year yet that my sister left here. And yet God does not have me crying about my sister. It's a blessing. It is a grace. Let me tell you, it is a grace. I could be broken, downtrodden, in despair, but God has graced me. And I'm saying that about me, but you have to name and know your grace too, okay? We all have a grace. I'm asking you that even if you don't see your grace, do not die in your grief. Do not die in your grief, okay? I'm going to tell you one more thing. I thought I was going to make this short, y'all. Let me tell you one more thing. It was exactly a year ago, on the same weekend that God told me to, overcome these offenses. Don't be stuck in the spirit of offense. Bind it up, okay? Bind it up. The easiest way to bind up offense, because you need to know, go apologize to people who did you wrong. You go apologize. How about that? You go apologize, okay? So, in this same weekend, I had a friend who was supposed to be traveling with me. And if you know me, if I'm traveling, you could travel too. If I got to pay for it already, it's paid for. You go ahead and come with me. And this friend was supposed to be coming with me. And God told me, he said, be careful who's in your room. Be careful who is in your room. And so I take the word of God very seriously. I take the word of God very literally. Be careful who's in your room. So that meant that the bellman, whom I had developed a good relationship with from being a frequent guest, I knew they couldn't come in. You put the do not disturb tag on so that the people don't clean my room. The Lord said nobody could come in here, but we weren't on the trip yet. So I knew that I had planned for this person to be in my room. I had gone as far as to even let this person know, yeah, you could stay in my room, but God said nobody could be in my room. So it didn't matter that this was a great friend of mine. It didn't matter that this was also a great client of mine, high-paying client. God said nobody could be in that room. So you know what I did? I said, look, we're going to have to find you another room. And no other rooms could be found. This is the first time when all of the bookings, it was full, completely full, because it was spring break. It was Myrtle Beach. There were no more rooms. So my friend said, oh, it's okay. I'm going to stay where I'm at. My friend was traveling from Florida in Charlotte, visiting some friends. And it was Sunday morning. We were done with everything for this particular trip. And I kept getting these phone calls. So I sat down and I took the call because I knew that something was wrong, because I kept receiving these phone calls. I knew something was wrong. And they said, have you heard? I said, have I heard what? Have you heard that this same friend who was supposed to be in my room, she was supposed to be in my room, have you heard that she passed away? No, I hadn't heard yet. But I was mad with God when God told me she couldn't stay in my room. Why, God? I questioned God and I still obeyed. I want you all to hear me what I'm saying. I questioned God and I still obeyed God. Because once they gave me the news that this young lady had passed wherever she was, I understood how God, in telling me something that I did not understand, God was keeping me. God was protecting me. God was holding me together, because I don't know if you all know this. I travel for a living. I'm in a hotel room right now. Do you understand how traumatic it could be if I woke up in the morning and my friend was on the bed, not alive? So I questioned God and I still listened. I heard the news and I was still mad at God. I said, God, if she would have been here, if she would have been with me, and not logical mind, somehow I imagined that if she were with me, I don't know what I thought, y'all. Maybe I thought, I don't know. But I went in that room and I just laid down. I covered my head. I canceled church. I covered my head and I just sat there and I kept looking at the empty bed in that room. And I was blessed that the bed was empty. And I had lost a great friend, yet I had gained spiritual maturity in God. So I'm telling you this, God, y'all, because there's so many griefs that we have encountered, not just last year. I mean, it's still going on this year. This is not just pandemic stuff. We are losing so many people. But I'm telling you, do not die in your grief. Do not stop going. Do not stop moving. Do not stop traveling. Whatever God has given you to do, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Because the people who have left us, they would want us to keep on going too, okay? They would want us to keep on going too. So I pray, as we say in closing, I pray something has been said that blesses you exactly where you are. And I pray that this word, this particular word, God continues to press it upon you. Intentional pressing. I pray that God presses this thing upon you intentionally so that in the coming days, you'll understand exactly why you heard this message. Exactly why you heard this message, and not only why you heard it, but whatever God is calling you to do, that you will go ahead and do it without question. Without question. You never know what God is gracing you for. All right? You all have a happy, happy Sunday for the rest of this evening. And I pray that you have a great, a graced, and a blessed week going forward. This is Pastor D signing off, my friends. Y'all be well.